What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So sitting right in front of me, kind of out of your guys' sight, is the front bumper and lip off of the 1992 Junkyard Camaro. Now looking at this, there are a lot of flaws to this bumper, and I'm going to kind of go through why we might be able to actually salvage the bumper, but definitely not the lip. Yeah, look at that LB7 smoke, baby! Because it's freaking America Day, that's why. Now, as you guys can kind of see, there is definitely a crack here. And honestly, this whole lip is kind of twisted and contorted. Like, this is supposed to be angled really far in. Now, it does have a crack right down in the bottom here. And the same thing on the other side, but it's contorted way too far in, and they don't want to sit right. So that's the downside of the lip. The lip definitely is going to need replaced. Now, the one big thing with this lip and the bumper, I'd actually bought that bumper last year. Since this is a 92, it has the different arrow. So my 1988 has the arrow that is on the front of that bumper, where this bumper is supposed to actually have the arrow piece on the lip on the front. Now, the downside to the bumper is there's a lot of dings, dents, and kind of wear down imperfections. So you guys can kind of see there's definitely a lot of imperfections. Now, I am going to peel some of this plastic off. You guys can actually see that the top of this bumper is actually busted all the way around. I mean, it's definitely usable. We could make this bumper work, but once I get everything stripped down, I'm going to take a look at it and see if we can't just find like a 92 front bumper with the arrow that is in decent shape to put on that car. Is off of the actual bumper itself. Now we're going to be able to take a better look at this bumper, and I will show you guys here in a second, as soon as this decides it's not going to flop all over the place, how bad this lip really is. It's junk. So basically, you guys can see it's pretty cracked there, pretty cracked here. Whole bottom side of it's just very uneven. You could definitely tell it's been scraped quite a few times. This bubbles down really crappy. I mean, we'll hold on to this just in the case that, you know what I mean, if we ever have another 3rd gen build on the channel, which who knows, I already have 2. So if we end up having a 3rd, maybe I can use that as like kind of like a whatever, throw it on type deal. All right, so now that that is off of the bumper, we're going to take a better look at the bumper. We're going to start clearing everything off. What the hell was that? Anyway, had some I don't even know what I was eating upstairs, but some of it was on my lip. But anyway, we're going to start taking the plastic dip off of this bumper just to kind of see what it looks like underneath here. I do not completely remember what color this was. I want to say it was in primer when I bought it. So as I started peeling this just the slightest bit, and it's going to be very hard to see, this is Maui blue right here. That's that rare 1988 color that I have on my 1988 on the top. But if you look on the side, it's blue. So maybe somebody had this bumper sprayed Maui blue at some point. Let's get back into it. definitely something worth doing on my own time, not necessarily recording. I think I will be able to salvage this bumper, but you guys can see just in the time lapse the amount of time that I spent getting it to this point. This is all pretty smooth. This in here is where the problem area is going to be. Where I did right here is pretty smooth. These little gaps and grooves where it's kind of indented, you can kind of see like the texture kind of there, and like on the side here where it's just really worn down. That's going to take a lot of time for me to try to get that perfected, so I'm not going to do that on camera. Not going to bore you guys to death. Something definitely for me to think about. Yes, I want this to kind of be like a budget build, but I also don't want to cut corners where it is going to be the most important. So front bumper, that little crack up on the very top, I'm not a big fan on. I'm not necessarily too big on JB welding that either and trying to make it look good. So I might even go the route of buying a brand new bumper just to have the overall appearance of the front looking fantastic. Or if I find a super clean 92 Camaro bumper with a lip, I will go that route. But definitely don't want to waste too much time on this bumper, just due to the fact that I'm probably not going to use it. Same situation as the lip. If I buy another wrecked 3rd gen Camaro down the road, this bumper and lip setup can be used as something that's not going to be the most appealing car, but I want this car to look mint. Kind of a very different question. So I have 2 sets of taillights that I can run on this car. This is what I have on my 1988 Camaro, which just has the subtle black strip going across in the middle, where this is the grid taillight setup, which is actually on the car right now. So I have 2 sets of those and 1 set of these. Comment down below which taillights you guys think would look better. I will post a picture in here in a second of the rear of my 1988 with these taillights. Definitely not going to get into it in today's video, but some things that are going to be up and coming soon. Whole interior needs to be gutted. The door panels are going to come off. The seats are going to come out. The carpet's going to be ripped out. Everything is going to be completely gutted. Now, it's kind of hard to see in through here, but the back side plastics are all out of this car right now. I want this to basically be just a 2-seater car. I'm probably not going to reinstall rear seats back in there, just be a kind of a 2-person cruiser. So lots of interior work that is going to be coming soon. We need to get this side skirt off and inside so we can get it sanded down and painted. Both fenders are going to need to be removed, and the hood is going to need to be removed. This whole bumper right here is going to be removed as well. You guys can see where the front end damage was initially when we bought this car. I will throw in a picture of how this car looked when we first bought it, and then me kind of half-ass putting it together last year to do this whole Dale Earnhardt theme car, which I just, over time, I just kind of didn't like the whole Dale Earnhardt theme anymore. So I'd much rather save the 3rd gen Camaros. I love 3rd gen Camaros. They're my favorite car of all time. I would rather take this and transform this into something beautiful than just kind of make it a meme by making it a Dale Earnhardt car. We also still need to get this trim piece off of this door over here. The ground effect is already off on this side, which is going to make it super easy for taking that fender off, which we had to take obviously and take the old fender off last year and put this fender on. And truthfully, having that ground effects piece off is going to make getting that fender off so much easier, but the other side is going to be kind of more of the pain in the ass. And for those of you guys that don't believe me that this was a junkyard car, right there's junkyard numbers. Very clear that this car spent some of its life in a junkyard. These corner pieces right here are a pain in the ass to try to find, but they're very valuable. I actually have, I think, 4 of these up at my parents' house, just because when we redid my 88, finding these was hard. Finding them in good shape, because typically, as crazy as this sounds, a lot of these cars were wrecked in the rear end in comparison to the front. So if this was your first time watching a video on my channel, guys, I hope you give this video a big thumbs up, and do not forget to hit the subscribe button down below. We got lucky and got a little bit of 2-sided 3rd gen Camaro action this week, which normally we only do 1 update a week. Very unfortunate with the bumper that, you know, I can't salvage it. I mean, I can, but I really don't want to. Eventually, if this car is going to be a giveaway vehicle at some point in my channel, obviously depending on my channel's growth, if my channel grows to the point where I can comfortably decide, hey, once this thing's done, to give it back to all of you guys, wow, you can really tell the difference between the Maui Blue and the blue that was on this car before. Let's just take a second to admire that. All right, enough of that. But anyway, if I'm going to give this car away to one of you guys someday, I want it to be done and done properly. So there's a lot of things that are going into play. And a lot of you guys kind of have this assumption that this is my job. This is not my job to do YouTube. I made a video about the C6 and C7 Corvette that kind of explained what I make from YouTube. I truthfully make enough money to drive this thing back and forth to work for 4 days a month, which obviously it's still something. It's still something, leaps and bounds. It's not all about the money. It's about putting a smile on somebody's face and being able to have somebody that's interested in a build. Now this car truthfully is going to end up phenomenal when I get to the point where it can be completed. There's going to be a lot of tedious work and a lot of corners that aren't going to be cut. So you guys have to be patient with me and stay along for the journey, because the end product of this is going to be awesome. As I said before, if this was your first time watching a video on my channel, give it a big thumbs up, hit the subscribe button down below, tell your friends, especially if they like 3rd gen Camaros. I'll catch you guys in the next one.